This place where I am at this moment, this place where we spend so much of our time, our summertime, is called Castle Hill. But the old name for it is very different. It's called the kohanga, the nest. Within the nest was kept, and still is, within the rocks of this place, ancient wisdom, because it was taught here. It was in this place of wonderful limestone rocks soaring to the sky, shaped by weather, wind and rain. It was in this place that a great school was established. Kura Tawhiti is the name of the school. Kura Tawhiti. Kura means school, that's K-U-R-A, and Tawhiti means the first. So this is the first school. And it was here that the elders gathered to share the wisdom, the sacred wisdom that was the blueprint for the nation of Waitaha. This was a university, the university of that age. Wondrous place. When you walk into that university, you go into several departments. As you walk in along the track that has been set there by the Conservation Department who care for it, on the left you meet the stone people. When the Dalai Lama came to New Zealand in 1992, he sent a message down to us, and the message said, one day I want to come and walk in that special place. Kura Tawhiti, the first school. The place that is the nest of the knowledge. And he's still to come. One day, we hope, you'll be able to visit the stone people, because they are of a line that goes back into Tibet and beyond, the same line of his people. So that's the stone department, where stone and the spirit of stone was understood and taught, where those who were to shape the stone learnt their skills, where those who were chosen to walk that path of the stone learnt to see the carving within the stone before a thing was taken to them, before the first cut. They knew what was within the stone. So that's one of the departments. Another department that's straight ahead of you is the horticultural department, where the children of Hotomatua, the gardeners, had their school of learning. Yes, when you leave the place of the gardeners and you cross the little stream, you come to the skywalkers. You come to the place of the water people, known as the Rapuwai. And that's another university, another department of the university. So there are many things happening here, because you've got a meteorological department that can forecast the weather, not just a few days ahead, but seasons ahead, so that those who go out on the Great Waka and make the journeys back to the homelands and know that they'll be sailing on good tides, that they won't be hit by violent storms. This is all read in the heavens at night, and in the trees and the flowers and the movement of the insects. They all come into play to tell those who know these wonderful, wonderful secrets of weather, to tell the people how to move, when to move, and when to plant their crops. You see, in some years they didn't even plant their kumara, which was such a nutritious food, the sweet potato, was really basic to life. And the word went out here from this very place throughout the whole land to say, plant the kumara this year, or don't, because it's going to be a wet season, a hot season, a season that will develop a mould that will destroy the kumara. And that only happened once in all the times that I have read in the histories which have been shared with me. So it was a very special place in so many ways, the university. And into it came the young ones who were chosen to be of this place, to carry the sacred knowledge forward into tomorrow. And they were chosen by the moon at birth. Where was the moon? Was it in the bright time when they were born? And they were chosen by the stars overhead at their birth. And they were chosen by the place where they were born, because the power of place was part of that world. And those who were chosen were watched in their early years to see if they could walk without anger, if they could walk in a way that was careful of others, respected others, honoured their mana, could carry knowledge without using it for their own ends instead of the communities. And when those children arrived at the age of 11, they were taken to the sacred spring within these rocks, and it's still there today. And they were blessed for their journey, initiated into this university of life. And those who excelled were taken to a valley that led up to the top ridge of this university. They were taken where 12 stones lead up as steps of graduation to the higher realms of the PhDs. That in their first year or two, if they excelled, they would only reach the first stone, the first rock, the first of the graduation stones. And that's where they would be blessed for the rest of their journey. And they would leave, and sometime they would return and see which stone they might reach in other years, until they came to the level of their learning, the completion, wherever that might be. Very few reached the 12th rock. Very few went one-on-one with the keepers of the sacred law on the highest ridge of all. Today, it's a very different time, and a few come and walk to the top. Many come to the other departments of the university and bring their children to play, but very few decide they will stretch their muscles and walk the ridge, walk to the ridge, up the valley of the stones, the graduation stones. But I believe they are called to that place, and that's a good thing, that they make their journey in one day. It's a time of opportunity, a time when the open heart, a time when we can make that journey between head and heart, the journey that's only 3 hand spans across, and go into the sacred things in a good way and be blessed for that journey. And when we go to that place, when we enter those rocks, be it of any department, there's a lovely thing we can do. It's an old protocol. We put a little bit of water in our hand, and we approach the first rock that calls to us in its way, and we place our hand there, and we say who we are and what our journey is, who we are and why we come. That opens the way. very simple protocol that allows you entry to this wondrous place of learning. People ask me why this place. The rocks of themselves have a power that is clear to see. Many feel it, are open to it. But it was chosen for a very special reason. It's limestone. It has fossils within it. It's created of the ocean floor. It's been lifted up through the great greywacke and schists of the mountains around it. And there it is, bared to the world, shaped by water, but carrying within it the only kind of stone on the planet. We find this limestone in many places, but the only kind of stone on the planet that tells the story of life on earth. From the very earliest of creatures deposited in the ocean floor, right through to later ones, lifted high. The bones of the whales and dolphins are there, the shellfish, all the remains of creatures of long ago. When Waitaha came to Wānanga, to this place of learning, they came to be embraced, if you will, by the story of life, by the understanding that we can learn from the tiniest of creatures. We can understand that there is a story stretching across eons of time that can be part of our life today. And within this wondrous place, they held their stories, their cosmologies. And you can stand there and look across to one part of this place where the story of creation is held. How the sky and the earth were one. How there was no light. And then the story of the arrival of the sun. The arrival of the force that gave life. The lovely thing about all that is taught there, the lovely thing about the cosmology and the ancient stories is that they don't float in the air. Each one of them is given a place, embedded in stone, in the ocean, in a river, in a mountain, embedded in the earth itself, from which the story was born.